Alright, this has fully caught me off guard, like, really. I've heard about this game on and off for years, and in fact it launched way back in 2013, and that's like 9 years ago. I have no idea what I was doing back then, but I never gave it a thought, and I'll be honest as to why, and that's because it looked like Sims 1, and I had already played that game to death. But boy was I wrong. The past few months, a good friend of mine, Mr. Atomic Duck, all his links will be in the bio, has been covering this game extensively on his channel, and might I add, the content is some of the best on YouTube. He hasn't paid me to say this, but now that I think about it. Anyway, I've been watching his videos and slowly thinking about picking Project Zomboid up. And at the time of finally doing that, it was on the sales in Steam, and so I thought it was perfect. Now, when I first played it, I had no idea what I was doing, and I still don't. But it grabbed me, and I was really hooked. But why was I hooked when I really had no interest in this game? Was it because of the nostalgic feeling of actually playing a weird version of Sims 1? Or was it the weird lack of correlation between its mascot and the game itself? And its mascot kind of looks like a weird version of the 1980s Moscow Olympics mascot. But I think the reason it caught me and grabbed me like it did was its strange feeling of completeness, if that's a word. This survival game has an incredible amount of depth to it. So much, in fact, every time I have a life, albeit a pretty short life, I discover something new. And I've not quite found that with the game, and every life that I do have feels extremely different. And there's a really weird connection in this game that when you do die, you have the chance of going back to your death and seeing that character that you created wandering around and trying to kill you. But anyway, here is a quick list of things this game has to offer. Base building, crafting, farming, barricading, drivable cars, day and night cycles, multiple different weather cycles, hundreds of weapons, multiplayer, challenges, stats, perks, character creation, character progression, and honestly, not a bucket load more, but a tanker load more. It's a ridiculous amount of features this game has. One of my favorite aspects is probably the learning curve. It is beautiful yet so rewarding. The first time I played, I think I left my spawn house and died within 8 minutes. And I think if you're new to this game, maybe you would do the same. But you have to plan almost every move in this game. You can't really run from A to B with ease. You're going to need to make sure you have a plan at all times and be ready to have a plan B, and maybe even sometimes a plan C. For example, you'll need to keep an eye on how your character is doing. If you're going on a late night run and you get panicked, good luck sleeping. You can't sleep, good luck having the strength for the next day. Oh, and please, if you do go out looting and possibly come across a car, and if you think about jumping into it and then just spamming buttons to figure out what you can get the car to do, you may end up honking the horn, and if you do that, it's game over. Trust me, first-hand experience, it sucked. Now, I'm not really scratching the surface here, but I also want to avoid spoiling the game too much. But if you're after a game that has an end game, or as in the credits roll and it says, "Congratulations, you've completed the game," you're not going to find that here, and that's fine because that's exactly what a survival game should be, in my opinion. But whilst you are spending countless lives in this game and trying to survive for as long as possible, you're going to encounter events and similar things like that. But there is also some realistic factors in this game that happen over time. And yes, we can talk about realism in a zombie game before you even think about typing that in the comments. But for example, the longer you manage to survive, zombies will actually get a small bit weaker due to the decomposition of zombies. I mean, I suppose if zombies were a real thing, they would eventually just drop down because they'd be rotting away. Anyway, I don't need to go into detail about that. But talking about endgame and similar things, you might wonder, well, I've played a lot now and I've explored a lot of the maps. What else can I do? Before we do move on, that would still take an awful lot of game time for you to sort of know every single map and feel like you've achieved everything in the base game. But you could also give yourself a real challenge and put yourself through a test within the challenges selector when you're making your survivor. But again, maybe that's not enough. Well, trust me, the community has you covered in this game. There is a ridiculous amount of content for you to check out for free on the Steam Workshop, and this ranges from weapon packs to quality of life fixes to honestly full-blown maps and challenges. For example, the other day I was on YouTube looking at some more videos of this, and there was like one where you spawn in a mall and you're a mall cop and you have to escape it, but that's just a ridiculous amount of zombies in the way. I want to try that out. But like I said, Project Zomboid is definitely one of the most complete survival games and experiences I have had in recent years. And if you're like me and put off with the way it looked, don't. It's definitely the classic case of judging a book by its cover, and this game deserves way more than that. But with that being said, I don't really know what else I can say to try and persuade you to give this game a go. I just wish I could play more of it. And probably as soon as I finish editing this video, I'm going to have another few lives on it, because it is just a great experience. And it's a really nice mix of extreme hardcore survival and a bit of like, I'm just going to play some Project Zomboid to chill out a bit too. And at the time of recording this video, or the audio for this video anyway, I've not even played multiplayer, and I can't wait to jump into that and experience this with other survivors. But I'm going to stop rambling now. If you did enjoy it, let me know by leaving a like. If you didn't enjoy it, that's fine, leave a dislike. Either way, I'd love to see you in my next video. With that being said, take care and bye bye.